Hello, I'm AJ, the creator of the breathography technique and the hypoxics method. Breath retentions. Breath retentions are a component within the hypoxics methodology. There are a variety of benefits to including breath retentions, short breath retentions within your functional movements, such as improvements in core strength, those core muscles that are increased in activation when we exhale to the end of our breath, and then we hold that muscle contraction. It's an amazing way of improving endurance of that deep musculature, preventing injury and keeping you consistent in your exercise program. Additionally, lung capacity. Lung capacity has been linked to longevity. And when we perform those breath retentions and then we move to an involuntary inhale, because we must take an inhalation, we're improving the amount of oxygen we can take into our lungs, which again has been linked with longevity in a lot of long-term studies. And we know that the improved ability to tolerate carbon dioxide in the body is also linked to decreases in stress triggers over the course of the day. And we know that decreasing our stress is going to also be linked with health and longevity. Additionally, there is a lot of research in the world of intermittent hypoxic training. And so this is training at altitude or training at sea level in a hypoxic chamber, simply by mildly decreasing the blood oxygen and the physiological changes, the positive adaptations that happen in the body as a response to just very tiny, mild decreases in blood oxygen. This is why many athletes train at altitude, but there are also a lot of positive adaptations in a general population person who's just looking for health and longevity, improvements in body composition, improvements in metabolic rate, and so on and so forth. Now, breath retentions are a component in many of the intermediate and the advanced hypoxics workouts. Are they right for you? Well, there are a couple of resources that are available to you where you can test yourself to see if breath retentions are right, especially at the beginning. For one, the hypoxics carbon dioxide tolerance test. Now, you can take any carbon dioxide tolerance test. I do recommend the hypoxics carbon dioxide tolerance test because it's specific to the method. And based on your score, you can figure out what your starting place is, and you can see if your CO2 tolerance is improving over time. That is also linked to your decreases in stress, which is amazing. And additionally, we have a hypoxics dynamic hypoxic breathing test, where if you're a nerd like me and you want to go that deep, then you can also test your blood oxygen when you're performing some of the longer breath holds. But really, common sense is go into a workout, and when performing or trying out a breath retention in any of the more advanced levels of breathography, are you able to move to nasal breathing pretty quickly after the conclusion of the breath retention? If you can't move to nasal breathing and soften your breath and quiet your breath, but you need to move to excessive hyperventilation for more than 5 or 10 seconds after the conclusion of the breath retention, it probably is too advanced for you right now, because my main goal for you is that the breath retention is there to improve all levels of the workout and all levels of daily life. The inclusion of breath retentions within your workout are meant to enhance your workout, enhance your daily life. And so if you find that your movement quality is suffering, for example, then you know that the breath retention is too advanced. If you find that you're moving to excessive hyperventilation for more than just a few seconds after the breath retention is too advanced. Remember, less is more. This is why I include only short breath retentions. You can even view them as breath pauses. I know sometimes the word breath retentions can seem daunting and overwhelming and maybe even negative. No, these are short breath retentions, and I include them because over my years of informal and formal research, now we're in the second and third year of formal research with this technique, we are seeing that minimum effective dose is a perfect strategy for getting those adaptations and seeing short-term and long-term change. So you don't need to hold your breath for 30 seconds to see those positive changes and performing a 2-second, a 4-second, and maybe even some of the more advanced levels, if you are advanced and you're ready, have wonderful consequences both inside the workout and outside the workout. Now again, there are so many benefits to including breath retentions within your workout. I love the core benefits, the carbon dioxide tolerance benefits, the intermittent hypoxic breathing benefits. But if you're a person whose unique physiology doesn't appreciate even the shorter breath retentions, or because of your carbon dioxide tolerance scores, or because of your movement quality response, or because of your hyperventilation response after the conclusion of the breath retention, you decide, you know what, breath retentions are not for me. The great news is that simply performing your engaged exhalation followed by low nasal breathing is going to give you those benefits of carbon dioxide tolerance and those benefits of improvements in tolerance of stress and those improvements in your core strength, your lung capacity, and even your oxygen efficiency and your oxygen utilization. And that is simply from the engaged exhale, completely exhaling, completely moving to the end of your breath, which many of us do not do. And that is going to help to reposition the ribs, reposition the pelvis, and give us those benefits of increasing oxygen efficiency. In fact, many studies have shown that if we move to the end of our exhale, we are improving or increasing the amount of oxygen that's ultimately being used by the body and is being diffused through the lungs. So it's absolutely incredible. And so for you, the modification is move to your complete exhale, blow, hiss, soft shish, loud shish, drain the air, and then you simply move to nasal breathing during the period of time that I cue a breath retention. So for example, if I'm cueing a 4-beat breath retention at the conclusion of the engaged exhale, and I say hold for 4, instead, you just quiet the face, you close the lips, and you softly breathe through your nostrils with a loose abdomen, and that's what's key. And so there is how you're going to continue to get those core strengthening benefits by holding the activation of those core muscles that you've activated with that engaged exhale during that period of time that I say breath retention. So if it's a 4-beat, you're simply moving to nasal breathing, but keeping the ribbon loose around the waist is giving you that feedback that you're staying at that low lung volume, meaning we're draining most of the air, and yes, you're breathing, but you're taking tiny sips of air through the nose, breathing low during that period of time that I say breath retention. And that is a wonderful strategy of continuing to get all of those physiological benefits and the musculoskeletal benefits of performing a hold, a breath pause, a breath retention at the conclusion of the engaged exhale without actually performing a breath retention. So you see that there's something for everyone. And so whether you're a beginner breathography and an advanced mover, because some of you may be extremely advanced with your movement, but your breath hasn't quite caught up and you want to go through an 8-week cycle and you want to progress the movement, but you're not quite ready to progress the breathography, because in most 8-week cycles, the breathography is increasing in challenge as the movement is increasing in challenge. You may want to go through the 8-week cycle and progress the movement, but not progress the breathography the first time around. And so you simply use that strategy of, as the breathography is increasing and as the breath retentions are increasing in duration, you're simply thinking move to low nasal breathing during that period of time that I cue a breath retention. And some of you may be advanced with your breath work, but not as advanced with your movement. And so therefore you're taking a level 1 8-week cycle, because that level 1 is also representative of the movement challenge, and you're going through that more beginner level movement, but you're progressing and you're advancing your breath work. Or you're taking a level 2 or a level 3 as a beginner mover and an advanced breathography person. I actually need a term for that. And you're going through that movement, but you're modifying the movement to more beginner. I always give modifications in every workout. So you're modifying the movement, but you're following the exhale and you're following the breath hold. So you see there's something for everyone. It's incredibly exciting. Whether you're performing the engaged exhale with no breath retentions or you're performing the engaged exhale with breath retentions, you're going to get carbon dioxide tolerance, lung capacity, and certainly improvements in core strength. See you in the workout.